In the dead of night, Atlanta's trap empire crumbled in a single, blood-chilling moment. Gucci Mane, ice dripping from every finger, the man who once stared down federal prison and laughed, stood frozen on the sidewalk outside his own mansion as Pooh Shiesty pressed cold steel to his temple and snarled, "Run me them chains, big dog." All of them. Gunshots didn't ring out, no screams, just the metallic clink of $3.2 million worth of custom jewelry hitting the concrete while Shiesty's ski mask slipped just enough for Gucci to lock eyes with the younger artist he'd once mentored. "You really doing this?" Gucci whispered, voice cracking like he'd been punched in the soul. Shiesty didn't blink. He scooped the pieces, hopped in a blacked-out SUV, and vanished into the city lights, leaving the king of the trap standing there broke, humiliated, and boiling with a rage the streets haven't seen since the 2000s. Within 47 minutes the footage hit the internet, raw, unfiltered, captured by a neighbor's security camera, and the entire rap game detonated. Phones lit up from Miami to Memphis. But nobody expected what came next. Jeezy, the same man who buried the hatchet with Gucci years ago after their legendary beef, sat in a dimly lit studio, eyes bloodshot, fists clenched so tight the veins looked ready to burst. The camera caught him mid-rant, voice shaking with pure fury. "Pooh Shiesty just robbed my brother? My brother, after everything we've been through? Nah, this ain't no game no more. This is war." He slammed his fist on the table, knocking over a bottle of lean that shattered across the floor. "I put my life on the line to squash that old beef, and now this lil n asterisk 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 gone. Violate like that?" Gucci still got my number. He called me at 3:17 a.m., voice breaking, telling me the watch his son gave him was gone. The one with the diamond spelling, Burr. Gone. Jeezy's voice dropped to a lethal whisper. "Shiesty, if you watching this, you just started something you can't finish." The streets remember, and I remember. The internet exploded, fans are already picking sides, death threats are flying, and inside sources say Gucci's camp is loading up while Shiesty's people are posting cryptic, "no snitching," messages. One question is burning through every group chat in hip-hop tonight. Is this the spark that sets the whole trap world on fire? The streets of Atlanta were still buzzing from the raw security footage when Jeezy dropped his bombshell reaction video that same night. His voice was raw gravel mixed with pure fire as he stared straight into the camera lens. You could see the veins popping on his forehead the same way they used to back in the Snowman days. "Pooh Shiesty just robbed my brother Gucci Mane," he growled, leaning so close the mic picked up every heavy breath. "After everything we buried the hatchet for. This is how you repay the game. This ain't no regular lick, this is betrayal at the highest level, and I am not sitting back quiet." Gucci himself was holed up in his Buckhead mansion, pacing the marble floors like a caged lion. The man who once laughed off prison bids now looked broken in a way the public had never seen. "That watch my son gave me," he muttered to his security team, "the diamond spelling Burr gone just like that. Pooh Shiesty smiled in my face last month at the studio session. Now he got my chains, my rollie, my everything." Gucci slammed his fist into the custom pool table, cracking the felt. "I mentored that lil nigga when he was hungry, now he bites the hand that fed him." Calls started flooding in from old trap legends. "Yo G, what's the move?" they asked, but Gucci stayed silent for hours, just staring at the empty safe where his ice used to live. By sunrise the rap world was split right down the middle. Fans on Twitter were going wild, some calling Shiesty a snake, others saying Gucci had it coming for past moves. One viral clip showed Young Thug commenting from behind bars through a smuggled phone, "Yo, this messy as hell, Pooh Shiesty really flipped on the big dog." Even Cardi B jumped in on her live stream, "Y'all, this ain't right, robbing your own people while the feds watching, that's crazy." But the real shock came when Jeezy hopped on a private jet and flew straight to Gucci's doorstep. No cameras, no entourage, just him and two trusted soldiers. The two former rivals who once traded diss tracks like bullets now stood face to face in Gucci's living room, emotions running high. Jeezy pulled Gucci into a tight hug. "Bro, I ain't forget how we squashed it back then," he said, voice thick with loyalty. "You my brother in this game and nobody touches my brother." Gucci wiped his eyes. "Man, I thought the beef days were dead. Now this kid Shiesty got me feeling like I am back in the trenches." They sat down over bottles of Hennessy and Gucci replayed the moment, the gun to his head, the cold eyes behind that mask. He said, "Run me them chains, big dog," like I was some regular mark. Jeezy slammed his glass down. "We built this trap shit from nothing and now these new generation niggas think they can rewrite the rules. Nah, we gotta send a message." Word spread fast through the Atlanta streets. Shiesty's crew caught wind and started posting cryptic IG stories with guns and money emojis, one caption reading, "No snitching, just business." But inside Gucci's camp tensions were boiling over. His wife Keisha Koir sat on the couch holding their son tight. "Baby daddy, they really took everything we worked for," she cried. Gucci knelt down in front of them. "I promise I'ma get it back even if it costs me everything." The family was left divided, some relatives urging Gucci to call the police, others whispering that street justice was the only way. Meanwhile, Jeezy made calls to old allies from his CTE label days. Yo, we riding for Gucci, he told them plain and simple. As the sun set that first day after the robbery, fans gathered outside Gucci's gates waving signs that read "Free Gucci Ice" and "Shiesty is a rat." One superfan screamed into a livestream, "This changes everything, the trap god got violated, now the whole game gotta pick sides." Inside the mansion, Gucci and Jeezy were deep in strategy mode. Jeezy pulled out his phone showing old texts from Shiesty begging for features back in the day. "Look at this," he said, "this lil nigga was starving, now he thinks he's bigger than the code." Gucci nodded slowly, the betrayal cut deeper than any bullet ever could. "I showed him the ropes, taught him how to move smart, and he turns around and does this." The drama escalated when Shiesty's own cousin leaked a voice note to a blog. In the recording, Shiesty laughed, "Yo, Gucci thought he was untouchable, I showed him different, the game ain't what it used to be." That clip went mega viral, and suddenly everyone from Future to Lil Durk was weighing in. Future posted a simple black screen with white text, "Real ones know what's up." Lil Durk reposted it with fire emojis, adding fuel to the already raging inferno. Jeezy saw the posts and lost it again in another impromptu video, "This ain't entertainment, y'all, this real life, my brother got robbed and y'all laughing, nah, we handling this the old way." Back at Gucci's place, the emotional toll was showing. He sat alone in his studio staring at old photos of him and Shiesty from better days. Tears welled up as he whispered to himself, "I treated you like family, lil bro, why?" His manager walked in, "G, we gotta drop a diss track or something, the fans need to hear from you." But Gucci shook his head, "Not yet, this bigger than music now." Jeezy overheard and jumped in, "Exactly, it's about respect, the code, the streets." The two legends spent the night plotting their next moves while the city outside hummed with anticipation of what was coming. Rumors started swirling that Shiesty had already fenced some of the jewelry in Memphis and was laughing about it with his posse. One insider claimed Shiesty said Gucci soft now, after all them years locked up, he ain't the same burr. That quote spread like wildfire and Gucci's phone blew up again with support from unexpected places. Even some Bloods and Crips affiliates were reaching out saying, "We got you if it pops off." The family drama intensified when Gucci's sister called screaming, "You better not start no war over some chains, our kids need their father." But Gucci was past listening, the humiliation burned too hot. Jeezy stepped outside for fresh air, lighting a cigar as he stared at the Atlanta skyline. "This reminds me of the old days," he muttered to himself, "when respect meant something." He dialed another old friend, "Yo, it's time to remind these youngins who built this shit." The call ended with a simple agreement: the trap elders were uniting and Pooh Shiesty had no idea what storm was heading his way. Inside the mansion, Gucci finally broke his silence on a quick IG story, just a black screen with white text, "Burr coming back stronger, watch." The likes poured in by the millions, but so did the death threats from Shiesty's side. As midnight approached, the first twist dropped. An anonymous account posted blurry footage of Shiesty arguing with one of his own homies in a parking lot. "You robbed Gucci for what?" the homie yelled. "We supposed to be eating together, not stealing from legends." Shiesty shoved him back, "Mind your business, this might come up." The clip ended with gunshots in the background, leaving everyone wondering if Shiesty's own crew was already fracturing. Jeezy watched it and smiled for the first time that day. "See Gucci, they eating each other already, we just gotta wait." The night ended with Gucci and Jeezy sharing one last drink, toasting to old times and new wars. But deep down both knew this was only the beginning. The robbery had opened old wounds and new betrayals were sure to follow. The trap world held its breath, waiting for the next explosion. The tension in Atlanta was thicker than the Georgia humidity the morning after Jeezy's explosive reaction. Gucci Mane woke up to hundreds of missed calls from industry heavyweights, all offering support but also asking the same question: what's the plan, G? He ignored most of them, choosing instead to sit with Jeezy in the kitchen, where the two men mapped out their strategy over black coffee and cold pizza. Jeezy leaned back in his chair. "We can't just react emotional, we gotta be smart like the old days." Gucci nodded, but his eyes told a different story. The pain of betrayal was still fresh like an open wound. Outside the mansion, fans had camped out overnight, some blasting Gucci classics from their cars, others holding candles in a makeshift vigil. One young woman cried into her phone, "I grew up on Gucci and Jeezy, now seeing them like this hurts, the culture is dying." Social media was a battlefield with hashtags like Justice for Burr and Shiesty downfall trending worldwide. Even international rappers from the UK to Nigeria were chiming in, shocked at the disrespect shown to a pioneer. Then came the first major twist that nobody saw coming. Late that morning, Shiesty himself dropped a surprise IG live from an unknown location, his face half hidden in shadows. "Y'all tripping," he said, laughing coldly. "Gucci had it coming, he owed me for some old business, plus he's soft now." The live exploded with comments calling him everything from king to clown. But the real bomb dropped when he addressed Jeezy directly. "Jeezy, stay in your lane, old head, this ain't your fight." Jeezy, who was watching from Gucci's couch, jumped up so fast he knocked over a chair. "Old head," he roared, "this lil nigga got the nerve." Gucci grabbed Jeezy's arm. Calm down bro, he trying to bait us. But the damage was done. Jeezy went live himself right there from the mansion kitchen. Pooh Shiesty, you just signed your own death certificate, he spat. Calling me old head after I helped build the very game you eating off. Nah, we got smoke for you and anybody rocking with you. The two reaction videos went head to head, racking up millions of views in hours. Fans were shocked. Emotions ran high as comment sections filled with predictions of an all-out rap war. Inside Shiesty's circle things were getting messy too. His longtime manager reportedly quit after the live, saying this too hot, I am out. Leaked text showed Shiesty arguing with his baby mama, who screamed, you just put our family in danger for some chains, you dumb. The family was left divided, with some relatives begging him to return the jewelry and apologize while others hyped him up as the new king of Memphis. Shiesty brushed them off, posting a photo of himself counting money with the caption New Era. Gucci and Jeezy weren't sitting idle. They called in favors from across the South, pulling in allies from Atlanta to Houston. One legendary producer who worked with both men in the past reached out, yo, if y'all need beats for diss tracks, I am in, free of charge. The energy shifted from shock to calculated revenge. Gucci finally broke his silence in a deep voice message sent to close friends, they took my ice but they ain't take my heart, I am still Burr and I am coming back 10 times harder. As the day wore on, a second twist hit like a thunderbolt. A supposed insider from Shiesty's camp leaked audio of Shiesty admitting the robbery was payback for Gucci allegedly blocking some of his early deals years ago. In the tape, Shiesty said Gucci thought he was God in Atlanta, I showed him he ain't. When the audio surfaced, Gucci listened to it stone-faced, then turned to Jeezy, see this personal now? Jeezy nodded. The betrayal ran deeper than anyone imagined, old grudges mixing with new ones creating a perfect storm. The fan reactions poured in non-stop. One popular rap podcast host dedicated an emergency episode to the drama, y'all, this bigger than music, it's about the soul of trap. Listeners called in, some defending Shiesty as a product of his environment, others blasting him as a traitor who violated the code. Meanwhile, Jeezy's wife intervened privately, telling him, baby, don't get too deep in this, you got kids to think about. But Jeezy was locked in. His loyalty to Gucci outweighed everything. By evening, the streets were alive with whispers of possible meetings between the camps. Some said a neutral party was trying to arrange peace talks, others claimed guns were already being loaded in hidden spots across the city. Gucci stood on his balcony overlooking the skyline, I built this from nothing, he whispered to the wind, and ill protected with everything I got. Jeezy joined him, placing a hand on his shoulder, we in this together, Bird, just like old times but better. The drama showed no signs of slowing. Every hour brought new leaks, new reactions, new accusations. Shiesty's crew started dissing Jeezy online, calling him a has-been, riding Gucci's coattails. Jeezy fired back in a tweet thread reminding everyone of his own legendary status and how he never violated the code. The back and forth had the entire hip-hop community glued to their phones waiting for the next chapter. As night fell again, Gucci received an unexpected call from an old enemy turned friend. The voice on the other end was calm but firm, G, I heard what happened, if you need muscle you know who to call. Gucci thanked him but hung up, knowing that accepting help could escalate things to a point of no return. Jeezy overheard and warned him carefully, bro, we gotta be smart, one wrong move and this war spills into the streets for real. The personal stakes were mounting for everyone involved. Gucci's son asked innocently, daddy, why did your friend take your shiny things, leaving the rap star speechless and heartbroken. Keisha Koir held her husband close, promising they would get through it as a family, but the fear in her eyes was real. Jeezy faced his own pressures with his label artists calling, worried about tour safety and brand deals. Yet through all the chaos, a strange bond was strengthening between Gucci and Jeezy. The former rivals were now closer than ever, united by this fresh wound. They spent hours reminiscing about their past beef and how squashing it had made them stronger. This robbery ain't breaking us, Jeezy said, it's making us unbreakable. Gucci agreed with a rare smile, yeah, we the old heads for a reason. But just as hope flickered, a final twist for the day emerged. Anonymous sources claimed Shiesty had fled to an undisclosed location, possibly out of the country, with the stolen jewelry already being broken down and sold. The news left Gucci furious and Jeezy plotting even harder. The trap world was on edge, knowing that whatever came next would change the game forever. The sun rose on day 3 with fresh leaks rocking the internet. A video surfaced showing Pooh Shiesty in a Memphis studio flaunting what looked like Gucci's custom pendant, the diamonds sparkling under the lights as he laughed with his crew. Y'all see this, he boasted in the clip, this what happens when you get too comfortable. The footage spread like poison gas, igniting even more outrage. Fans were shocked, some calling for boycotts of Shiesty's music, others demanding justice in the streets. Jeezy saw the video first and immediately dialed Gucci. Bro, you seeing this, he asked, voice laced with disgust. Gucci, who was working out in his home gym to blow off steam, paused the treadmill and cursed loudly. That pendant was a gift from my daughter, he said, the one with the family crest. The emotional conflict hit him like a wave, personal items carrying sentimental value now being mocked publicly. The two met up again, this time at a private warehouse outside Atlanta where they linked with a few trusted OGs from the old school. The room was thick with cigar smoke and serious talk. One veteran street figure leaned forward. "Y'all know what this means, right? If we let this slide, every young nigga with a gun gon' think it's open season on Legends." Jeezy nodded firmly. "We ain't letting it slide." Gucci stayed quiet at first, then spoke with steel in his voice. "I want my shit back and I want respect restored." Back in the public eye, reactions poured in from all corners. Offset from the Migos posted a story with praying hands emojis and the caption, "Family first, stay safe Gucci." Youngboy Never Broke Again went live ranting about how disloyalty was killing the culture. Even TikTok was flooded with reaction videos, teens recreating the robbery scene with dramatic flair. The whole world seemed captivated by the unfolding drama. Inside Shiesty's camp, the pressure was mounting. His lawyer reportedly advised him to lay low and consider turning himself in if evidence tightened, but Shiesty refused, bragging to close ones that he was untouchable. His mother called, crying, "Son, please don't throw your life away over this," but the young rapper hung up, telling her she didn't understand the game. The family was left divided, some siding with him out of blood loyalty, others distancing themselves in fear of retaliation. Gucci and Jeezy spent the afternoon recording a joint freestyle over an old beat, the lyrics dripping with venom aimed squarely at Shiesty. Lines like "You bit the hand that fed you, now choke on it," and "Old heads built it, new heads can't touch it" had the small crew in the studio nodding in approval. But they decided not to release it yet, holding it as ammunition for the right moment. The personal stakes were clear for Gucci. This wasn't just about jewelry, it was about legacy, and for Jeezy it was about honoring the code he lived by. As evening approached, another unexpected twist shook everyone. A supposed Shiesty affiliate reached out to Gucci's camp offering to return part of the jewelry in exchange for peace. The message read, "We can squash this before it gets ugly." Gucci laughed bitterly when he read it. Ugly already happened. Jeezy advised, "Caution bro, this could be a setup or a genuine crack in their armor." They debated for hours, weighing the risks of negotiation versus all-out war. Fans sensed the shift and flooded comment sections with theories. Is peace coming, or is this the calm before the storm? One viral post asked. Emotions ran high as supporters on both sides clashed online, turning timelines into battlegrounds. Meanwhile, Gucci's wife Keisha expressed her fears privately to Jeezy's wife. "The kids are asking questions. I don't know how much more of this I can take." Jeezy pulled Gucci aside later that night. "Listen, we've been through beef before, but this different. It's about the next generation learning respect." Gucci agreed, adding, "I don't want my son growing up thinking it's okay to violate your own." Their bond deepened further, turning former enemies into true brothers in arms. The day ended with both men exhausted but resolute. Leaks suggested Shiesty was starting to feel the heat, with some of his shows being cancelled due to safety concerns. The trap game was holding its breath, knowing the next move could ignite something unstoppable. Gucci stared at the empty spots on his watchbox where his prized pieces once sat and whispered to himself, "This ain't over Burr, not by a long shot." With the weekend approaching, the drama reached new heights when Pooh Shiesty dropped a full diss track titled Old Ice New Fire, aimed directly at Gucci and Jeezy. The beat was hard-hitting and his bars were vicious, calling Gucci washed up and Jeezy a fake peacemaker. The track leaked early and immediately climbed the charts despite the controversy. Shiesty celebrated on social media with posts reading, "They mad 'cause I am winning now." Gucci and Jeezy listened to the song together in silence at first, then Gucci exploded. "This lil nigga really think he can diss me after robbing me?" he yelled, pacing the room. Jeezy stayed calmer, but his eyes burned with intensity. "We answer with actions, not just words." They immediately hit the studio, cooking up their response track, The Energy, electric as old-school trap beats blended with modern fire. The fanbase was split harder than ever, some praising Shiesty for his boldness, others labeling him a coward who hid behind a gun. Celebrity reactions flooded in, with Megan Thee Stallion tweeting, "This why we can't have nice things in the industry, SMH." Even politicians in Atlanta commented on the need for peace in the streets, using the incident to push anti-violence campaigns. Inside Gucci's home, the family drama peaked when his teenage daughter confronted him, "Daddy, why are you letting this boy disrespect you like that?" Gucci hugged her tight, promising to handle it, but the guilt weighed heavy on him for bringing street matters into their safe space. Jeezy faced similar conversations at home with his own children, asking if Daddy was going to fight again. A major twist came when one of Shiesty's former collaborators publicly denounced him on a podcast. "I can't rock with disloyalty," he said flat out. Pooh crossed a line that should never be crossed. The defection sent ripples through the industry, with more artists quietly distancing themselves from Shiesty. His camp tried to spin it as jealousy, but the damage was done. Jeezy and Gucci used the momentum to rally more support, calling in favors from across the country. Calls came in from Los Angeles to New York, offering everything from security to financial backing. The old guard was uniting in a way not seen since the early 2000s beef eras. Gucci felt a renewed sense of purpose. The robbery had accidentally brought the real ones closer. As the diss tracks flew back and forth, the emotional conflicts deepened. Gucci struggled with feelings of vulnerability, admitting to Jeezy in a quiet moment, "I never thought it'd feel this small again, not after beating the feds." Jeezy shared his own fears about the younger generation losing the values they fought for. Their late-night conversations turned philosophical, touching on legacy, fatherhood, and the price of fame. The public couldn't get enough, with YouTube reaction channels breaking down every lyric and every subtle diss. One popular host exclaimed, "This is better than any reality show, the stakes are real." Viewers flooded the comments with predictions of who would win the war, some saying experience beats youth, others betting on Shiesty's hunger. By the end of the weekend, both sides were exhausted but far from finished. Shiesty posted a cryptic message saying, "I am just getting started," while Gucci and Jeezy prepared their next move in secrecy. The trap world remained on edge, divided, loyalties tested, and the question of respect hanging heavy in the air like smoke from a fired gun. The conflict showed no signs of resolution as new information continued to surface. Whispers of a possible sit-down meeting between representatives grew louder, but trust was in short supply. Gucci Mane stared at his reflection in the mirror, touching the bare spot on his wrist where his favorite watch once sat. The king of the trap had been dethroned temporarily, but the fire in his eyes promised a comeback for the ages. Jeezy stood beside him, solid as ever, ready to ride until the end. The robbery had changed everything, and the streets would never be the same. The tension exploded into full chaos when Gucci Mane and Jeezy finally dropped their response track late Sunday night. The beat hit harder than anything the game had heard in years, raw trap drums mixed with haunting piano keys that sounded like funeral music for Shiesty's career. Gucci came in first, his voice dripping with ice-cold venom. "You took my chains, thought you was slick, now the whole world watching you get exposed, lil bitch." Jeezy followed right behind, spitting bars about loyalty and how the new generation was killing the culture they inherited. The track, titled "Burr Back," stabbed Shiesty from every angle, calling out the robbery, the disrespect, and the fake tough guy act. Within minutes, it shattered streaming records, and the comments flooded with fans screaming, "This the one, this the war anthem." Shiesty caught the song while hiding out in a low-key spot in Memphis. His reaction was caught on a now-deleted live where he paced the room yelling, "Gucci and Jeezy, old washed-up niggas teaming up like bitches." He promised a rebuttal that would end their careers, but his voice cracked just enough to show the pressure was getting to him. His own crew started whispering behind his back. One member later leaked that Shiesty was paranoid, checking windows every 5 minutes, scared Gucci's people might pull up. The family drama inside Shiesty's circle reached a breaking point when his baby mama packed her bags and left with their child, screaming, "You chose chains over us, now live with it." Shiesty tried to stop her, but she was done. The robbery had torn his personal life apart. Back in Atlanta, Gucci felt a surge of energy for the first time since the robbery. He walked through his mansion with Jeezy pointing out empty display cases where his jewelry used to sit. Every missing piece told a story. The Cuban link, his mom blessed him with the pendant from his first platinum plaque, even the simple chain he wore when he proposed to Keisha. The emotional weight crushed him at moments, but Jeezy's presence kept him grounded. "We getting every single thing back," Gucci said, clenching his jaw, "and we making sure the game remembers who not to touch." Jeezy nodded, pouring them both a drink, to the real ones who still live by code. The rap community was completely divided. Some artists like 21 Savage stayed neutral, posting cryptic smoke emojis, while others openly picked sides. Young Jeezy, "Wait, no, Young Thug," sent a voice note from prison telling Gucci, "Hold your head high, big dog, they'll learn." Cardi B went live again, this time more fired up, "Y'all robbing legends for clout, that's corny as hell, Pooh Shiesty needs to grow up." The fan reactions turned ugly, with death threats flying both ways and Twitter spaces popping off non-stop, debating who was right. Emotions ran high as old-school fans defended Gucci and Jeezy while younger ones hyped Shiesty as the future. Then came the biggest twist yet that nobody saw coming. Early Monday morning, a blurry video leaked showing Shiesty arguing violently with one of his closest homies in a gas station parking lot. The audio was clear enough. "You stupid for robbing Gucci," the homie shouted. "We had a deal to eat together, not steal from the man who paved the way." Shiesty shoved him hard. "Mind your fucking business, this my moment." The clip ended with the homie pulling a gun and Shiesty speeding off, leaving everyone stunned. Fans were shocked. This wasn't just Gucci getting robbed, now Shiesty's own circle was imploding. Jeezy watched the video multiple times and laughed bitterly. "See Gucci, they already turning on him, the snake always gets bit first." Gucci used the moment to go live from his studio for the first time since the incident. He looked directly into the camera, eyes tired but burning with determination. "Pooh Shiesty, you thought taking my ice would break me," he said slowly, "but all you did was wake up the old Gucci. The one who survived prison, the one who built an empire from nothing." Jeezy stood in the background, arms crossed, nodding along. Gucci continued, "I mentored you, fed you opportunities, and you repay me with a gun to my head? Nah, that ain't how this works." The live drew over 2 million viewers in the first hour, with comments pouring in support mixed with threats from Shiesty supporters. Shiesty's camp tried to fight back by releasing old footage of Gucci in heated moments from years ago, claiming he was always violent. But it backfired when fans pointed out the hypocrisy, especially since Shiesty was the one who pulled the trigger on the robbery. Inside Gucci's home, Keisha Koir sat with their children trying to shield them from the chaos, but the son kept asking why Uncle Pooh took daddy's shiny things. The family was left divided, Gucci's relatives urging him to let it go and move on while his street family pushed for revenge. Jeezy faced similar pressure from his wife, who warned him quietly, "Baby, this could end bad for all of us, think about our future." As the week progressed, the drama spread beyond music into the streets. Reports surfaced of increased tension in Memphis and Atlanta, with crews aligning themselves either with Gucci or Shiesty. One nightclub in downtown Atlanta got shut down after a fight broke out between fans debating the robbery. Police issued statements urging calm, but everyone knew the code of the streets would handle it their way. Jeezy made more calls rallying old CTE affiliates, reminding them this was bigger than one robbery, it was about preserving respect in the game. Gucci and Jeezy spent late nights in the studio, not just making music but talking about their journeys. Gucci opened up about the low moments after prison when he felt lost until music saved him again. Jeezy shared stories from his come-up days when loyalty meant everything and betrayal got you removed. Their conversations strengthened their bond, turning the robbery into a catalyst for a powerful alliance. "We the last of the real ones," Jeezy said one night, "and we gotta teach these youngins before the whole culture collapses." Another twist hit when an anonymous source dropped receipts showing Shiesty had tried to sell Gucci's stolen jewelry to a known fence in Houston, but the deal fell through because the buyer recognized the pieces and refused out of respect for Gucci. The news made Shiesty look even more desperate and isolated. Gucci reacted by posting a simple photo of his empty safe with the caption, "Everything lost will be returned ×10. The post went mega viral, and suddenly brands started reaching out offering Gucci endorsement deals, capitalizing on the sympathy wave. Shiesty responded with another diss attempt, this one weaker and more emotional. In the song he claimed Gucci owed him money from old deals and the robbery was just collecting debt. But the bars felt forced and fans dragged him in the comments, calling it cap. Jeezy jumped on an IG live to dismantle the song line by line, "Yo, he talking about debt but pulled a gun instead of talking like a man, that's bitch shit." The back and forth kept the internet hooked with reaction channels, gaining thousands of subscribers overnight. The personal stakes grew heavier for everyone. Gucci's daughter started having nightmares about guns and robberies, forcing Keisha to beg Gucci to de-escalate. Gucci promised her he would protect the family, but deep down he knew the streets demanded satisfaction. Jeezy dealt with his own demons, watching old videos of his beef with Gucci and realizing how far they had come, only for a new generation to threaten that peace. The emotional conflicts were real: loyalty versus safety, legacy versus peace. By midweek, a surprising development emerged when a neutral mediator, an old Atlanta OG with ties to both sides, reached out offering to set up a sit-down. Gucci and Jeezy discussed it for hours, weighing the risks. "What if it's a setup?" Gucci asked. Jeezy replied, "Then we go prepared, but maybe this the way to get your shit back without more bodies dropping." They agreed to consider it, but only on their terms, neutral ground with limited people. Shiesty caught wind of the possible meeting and panicked, posting vague threats about not negotiating with snitches. His own mother went public in a tearful Facebook video pleading with him to return the jewelry and apologize before someone gets hurt. The family was left even more divided, with relatives taking sides publicly on social media. Fans were shocked to see the human cost behind the headlines, realizing this wasn't just entertainment anymore. Gucci started working out intensely again, getting back in shape like his old trap or die days. Jeezy joined him for sessions, turning the gym into a war room where they planned their next moves while lifting weights. Their friendship deepened further, with Jeezy admitting, "Gucci, you the reason I learned to move smarter back then." Gucci smiled for the first time in days, "And we still teaching lessons today." The drama continued to unfold, with new leaks every day. One audio clip captured Shiesty admitting on a phone call that he regretted the robbery because the heat was too much, but he was too deep in to back down now. The clip humanized him for some but made him look weak to others. Jeezy used it as motivation, "See, he cracking already, we just gotta keep the pressure on." As the week ended, Gucci and Jeezy prepared for whatever came next, whether peace talks or more conflict. The trap world remained on edge, with everyone picking sides and the unresolved questions hanging heavy. Would the jewelry return? Would blood be shed? Or would the two legends force the young gun to learn respect the hard way? The robbery had opened a wound that refused to heal, and the next chapter promised even more fireworks. The pressure cooker finally boiled over when Shiesty made a bold move that no one anticipated. He posted a video from an undisclosed location holding what looked like one of Gucci's stolen chains, dangling it like a trophy. "Y'all want this back," he taunted, "come get it," but Gucci and Jeezy ain't built like that no more. The video ignited immediate backlash, with fans calling him stupid for flaunting evidence. Police reportedly started looking into the clip, adding legal trouble to Shiesty's growing list of problems. Gucci watched it with Jeezy beside him and for the first time laughed. "He really think this smart," Gucci said, shaking his head. Jeezy replied, "Nah, he desperate. Now desperate men make mistakes." They immediately started crafting a new response, this time a full video diss where they sat side by side breaking down Shiesty's mistakes. The video dropped hours later and broke the internet. Gucci looking straight into the camera. "Pooh, you playing with fire and ice don't mix well." Jeezy added, "We the ones who made the lane, you speeding in wrong way now, crash dummy." The industry reactions were swift and brutal. Several major artists unfollowed Shiesty on Instagram, signaling they wanted no part of the smoke. One A-list rapper texted Gucci privately saying, "I am with y'all on this one, the code matters." Even some of Shiesty's Memphis peers started distancing themselves, quietly afraid of getting caught in the crossfire. The emotional toll on Shiesty showed when he deleted the taunting video, but the damage was already done. Inside Gucci's mansion, the family tried to find normalcy. Keisha cooked a big meal for everyone, including Jeezy and his wife, turning the house into a temporary safe haven. During dinner, Gucci's son asked Uncle Jeezy, "Are you and Daddy going to fight the bad guy?" Jeezy smiled softly, "Not fight like that, lil man, but teach him how real men handle business." The moment was touching but underscored the personal stakes everyone carried. Another twist dropped when one of Shiesty's former producers came forward with stories of how Shiesty had been talking reckless about Gucci for months before the robbery. In an interview, the producer said Pooh always felt Gucci was gatekeeping the South. Now he took matters into his own hands, but it was a dumb move. The revelations painted Shiesty as premeditated, not just impulsive, making the betrayal sting even more for Gucci. Jeezy used the new information to rally more support, calling in favors from his extensive network. Old friends from his snowman days reached out, offering resources and manpower if needed. Gucci appreciated the loyalty but cautioned everyone, "We doing this smart, not sloppy." Their strategy sessions became more intense, mixing street knowledge with legal advice to avoid catching new cases. The fanbase remained obsessed with daily updates. YouTube channels dedicated entire episodes to timeline breakdowns, speculating on what would happen if the two sides actually met. One host said, "This feels like the end of an era or the start of a new one, depending on how it plays out." Comment sections turned into debate clubs with passionate arguments from both sides, keeping the drama alive 24/7. Shiesty's isolation grew when his lawyer advised him to turn himself in for the robbery to avoid worse charges. Shiesty refused, claiming he would handle it his way, but his confidence was clearly shaken. His close friends started leaving one by one, citing the mounting pressure and fear of retaliation. The family was left in tatters, with public arguments spilling onto social media for the world to see. Gucci and Jeezy took a moment to reflect on how far they had come. Sitting on the balcony one evening, Gucci said, "Jeezy, I never thought we'd be here again after our own beef, but I am glad we squashed it." Jeezy replied, "Me too, bro. This situation showed me who my real brother is." Their conversation turned deep, touching on fatherhood, music, and the legacy they wanted to leave. The robbery had unexpectedly forged an unbreakable alliance between the two trap icons. As another week began, new rumors surfaced about a possible secret meeting being arranged by mutual connections. Both sides were cautious, but the idea of recovering the jewelry without further violence tempted Gucci. Jeezy remained the voice of reason, "We go in prepared, but we go in smart." The trap world held its breath, waiting to see if peace was possible or if the conflict would escalate into something irreversible. The drama showed no signs of slowing, with every day bringing fresh accusations, leaked audios, and heated reactions. Gucci Mane, the once untouchable Burr, was now fighting to reclaim not just his possessions but his pride. Jeezy stood firmly by his side, proving that old rivalries could transform into powerful loyalties. Pooh Shiesty had poked the bear and now faced the full wrath of the game he thought he could conquer. The streets were watching, the hip-hop world was divided, and the outcome remained uncertain, but one thing was clear: this story was far from over, and the next twist could change everything forever. The drama between Gucci Mane, Pooh Shiesty, and Jeezy has shaken the entire trap game to its core, leaving fans everywhere wondering what comes next. Will Gucci get every chain and watch returned, or will this betrayal spark an all-out war that spills way beyond music? Did Shiesty really think he could violate a legend and walk away untouched, or is his own crew already turning against him as the pressure mounts? Jeezy stepping up like a true brother has everyone talking about loyalty, old school codes, and whether the new generation even understands respect anymore. The family divisions, the leaked clips, the diss tracks, and the raw emotions have turned this robbery into the biggest reality show the streets never asked for but can't stop watching. Unresolved questions are everywhere. Is peace still possible through some secret sit-down, or are we headed for something darker that nobody can take back? One thing is certain: the trap world will never look the same after this, and the next move could make or break careers, legacies, and lives. Now you tell me what you think. Do you believe Shiesty crossed a line that can never be forgiven, or is Gucci and Jeezy overreacting to a young nigga making a power move? Should they squash it for the culture or ride out until every piece of ice is back where it belongs? Drop your hottest take in the comments right now. Team Gucci, Team Jeezy, or Team Shiesty? Let us know which side you really on and why. Smash that like button if this drama got your heart racing, and subscribe for more raw, unfiltered breakdowns of the wildest moments happening in the game, because trust me, the twists are only getting crazier from here. Turn on notifications so you never miss when the next chapter drops, because in these streets the story never really ends, it just levels up. What would you do if someone robbed you like that? Hit the comment section and tell me straight up. We reading every single one. This is the type of real talk you only get here, so lock in and stay tuned. The streets are speaking and we bringing every word to you.